They owned around 50 to 60 stuffed toys. A photo of these bears revealed a strict order in which they had to be arranged as per Prince Andrew's preference. The laminated picture served as a guide for the maids. If the toys were not placed correctly, he would shout and scream. The royal family's gilded façade often hides secrets, but a former Buckingham Palace maid recently came forward, unveiling shocking claims about Prince Andrew in a tell-all interview with The Sun. These revelations shed light on eyebrow-raising behavior and bent royal protocols behind closed doors, painting a different picture of life within the palace walls. Life in Buckingham Palace may appear as a dream for those captivated by historical grandeur, marble halls, and the opportunity to work near royalty. However, for the staff tasked with maintaining the veneer of perfection, the reality was starkly different. According to the former maid, the palace was a pressure cooker of strict rules and unending demands held together by an unwritten code of silence. Each day began with exacting routine staff meticulously preparing for royals who tolerated no errors. It wasn't just a job, she described, it was a performance. Tasks such as setting the table or fluffing pillows had to meet impossibly high standards. The glittering exterior often concealed absurd practices, ironing shoelaces, meticulously arranging teddy bears, and striving for perfection that was never acknowledged. Despite their efforts, gratitude was rare, and the household's controlled environment became increasingly oppressive over time. Among the royals, Prince Andrew stood out for his unpredictable and entitled behavior. The maid described him as aloof, rarely acknowledging the staff who worked tirelessly around him. You could walk past him and feel invisible, she recalled, noting his lack of basic courtesy. This attitude, coupled with unrelenting workloads and an air of secrecy, made working there challenging. Staff were expected to ensure palace affairs remained confidential. We were like shadows, she explained, hinting at the fear of overstepping boundaries. One incident stood out. A late-night request from Prince Andrew shocked the staff due to its audacity. Although the maid refrained from providing specifics, she suggested it exemplified the power dynamics within the household far beyond mere privilege. Buckingham Palace, while resplendent with history and grandeur, harbored dark corners of isolation and mistrust. Staff were discouraged from forming close relationships, fostering a palpable lack of trust. The pressure to conform was unyielding, revealing the cracks beneath the surface. The maid's revelations are particularly damning regarding Prince Andrew. His behavior, characterized by tantrums over minor inconveniences like the wrong tea temperature or unpolished shoes, exemplified unbridled privilege. Beyond his personality, the indulgence shown to him created a backdrop for poor practices, such as ignoring inappropriate jokes and noisy late-night parties. He was the kind of man who could turn a room cold, she remarked. These allegations align with Andrew's tarnished public image. His connections with Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender, remain one of his most notorious scandals. Photographs of Andrew with Virginia Giuffre, who accused him of sexual assault, became emblematic of this controversy. Although Andrew has consistently denied these allegations, his infamous BBC Newsnight interview only deepened public distrust. The maid's testimony echoed this entitlement and lack of accountability, adding weight to the narrative of a man who lived as though rules did not apply to him. Beyond Andrew's personal scandals, the palace's role in shielding him from scrutiny further darkens the picture. Staff were discouraged from voicing concerns, and serious allegations were treated dismissively. This culture of silence protected not just Andrew, but the entire institution. The maid's insights raise questions about the monarchy itself. Could these be isolated incidents, or do they reveal systemic issues? As public scrutiny grows, the royal family faces mounting pressure to address such concerns. The parallels between Andrew's private indiscretions and public scandals paint a troubling narrative of privilege and impunity. The royal family's PR machine responded to the maid's claims with silence, issuing a standard statement, "We do not comment on individual staff matters." This lack of a forceful rebuttal only fueled speculation. Was this silence a strategic move to minimize attention, or did it indicate deeper complicity? As public debates rage over the relevance of the monarchy in modern society, these revelations add to a growing pile of scandals threatening its legacy. While the British monarchy has long symbolized dignity and tradition, its protocols often serve as a smokescreen, silencing dissent and maintaining an illusion of perfection. The Maid story challenges this image, offering a rare glimpse into the realities behind palace walls. Whether this marks the beginning of significant change or the end of the monarchy's untouchable image remains to be seen. For now, her courage in speaking out invites others to question the institution's practices, accountability, and future. The glittering veneer of royal life is far removed from the reality described by insiders. The environment, often governed by unspoken rules and pervasive tension, is starkly different from the image the public associates with the monarchy. One former maid highlighted moments when staff were expected to overlook behaviors that, in any other setting, would raise significant concerns. "We knew better than to ask questions," she said, painting a picture of a culture where loyalty often trumps morality. Other accounts from former palace staff corroborate her claims. Over the years, many have described the challenges of working within the royal system, a culture demanding perfection while providing little support. One former chef recounted being chastised for using the wrong type of egg for a royal breakfast, while another shared the psychological toll of long hours with minimal recognition. These anecdotes suggest systemic issues rather than isolated incidents. What is most troubling is how royal protocol seems to shield personal behaviors that contradict the values the monarchy professes to uphold. While the public sees a family dedicated to service, insiders witness a system designed to protect itself at any cost. This rigid adherence to protocol creates a power dynamic where staff are discouraged from speaking out, even in the face of wrongdoing. What other secrets might lie behind these guarded walls? The Maid's revelations hint at a story far deeper than previously imagined. As more insider accounts emerge, the carefully constructed image of the British monarchy begins to crack. Could this signify the beginning of a broader reckoning for an institution long shrouded in secrecy? The paradox of the monarchy lies in its dependence on tradition for strength, while struggling to adapt to modern demands for accountability. As public calls for transparency grow louder, the question remains, will the monarchy rise to the occasion, or will its secrets become its undoing? The former maid's allegations raise another pressing question: could her claims have legal consequences for a family steeped in centuries-old tradition? While her allegations do not involve overtly criminal elements, they highlight a culture of misconduct, exploitation, or negligence behind palace doors. For these claims to lead to formal investigations, much would depend on whether other staff come forward and whether public pressure demands action. Prince Andrew, already embroiled in controversy due to his connections with Jeffrey Epstein, faces renewed scrutiny. His settlement with Virginia Giuffre, who accused him of sexual assault as a minor, left many questions unanswered, fueling skepticism about his actions. These new allegations add another layer to the ongoing public and legal challenges surrounding him. Historically, the British monarchy has operated above public accountability, insulated by tradition and privilege. Unlike politicians or public figures, royals have largely escaped scrutiny. However, shifting public attitudes toward greater transparency and equality suggest that such immunity may no longer be tolerated. Legal action against royals remains a significant challenge, requiring substantial evidence and persistent public outcry. Insiders, constrained by non-disclosure agreements and financial settlements, face immense hurdles in speaking out. A civil lawsuit, with its lower standards of evidence, might offer a path to justice. However, taking on the monarchy's resources would be a formidable task. The Maid's credibility and motives are likely to be scrutinized, further complicating any legal pursuit. Still, the possibility of a broader inquiry cannot be entirely dismissed, particularly if public demand grows louder. Prince Andrew's attempts to rehabilitate his reputation have largely backfired. His disastrous 2019 BBC interview, coupled with his withdrawal from public life, has done little to quell criticism. Polls suggest that the majority of Britons believe he should have no role in royal life, viewing him as a liability to the monarchy. Social media has amplified these sentiments, portraying Andrew as emblematic of the monarchy's perceived sense of entitlement and lack of accountability. The palace has remained silent about Andrew's future. Rumors of a soft exile or a private life abroad remain unconfirmed. King Charles Roman III, focused on modernizing the monarchy, is unlikely to risk undermining those efforts by reintegrating Andrew into public duties. Yet Andrew's ongoing presence, even in a diminished capacity, casts a shadow over the monarchy. The Maid's allegations and Andrew's scandals have placed the monarchy at a crossroads. For an institution reliant on public approval, these controversies represent more than personal failures. They challenge the monarchy's very survival in the modern age. Whether the royal family can distance itself enough to restore public trust remains uncertain. As voices of dissent grow louder, the royal family faces increasing pressure to adapt or risk irrelevance. Will the walls of secrecy that have protected the monarchy for centuries hold firm, or will they crumble under the weight of modern scrutiny? Only time will tell,